So, Josh, I got your message about Brian, and to be honest, I thought we might have had this conversation before I left. It's weird to think he was originally Ben's dog, and Ben was your age when Dad got him. I don't know if anyone's ever told you, he was an impulse purchase. Brian, not Ben. And he wasn't like in the supermarket at the checkout next to the $2.99 DVDs and Chewy sweets and all that guff. Basically, a guy at Dad's work brought a box of puppies to work with him because his wife was away with their kids on some sort of excursion. And the puppies couldn't be left alone, and the girl was supposed to be coming round to look after them. She cancelled because it was something to do with the nails. Anyway, the guy arrived at work with a box of dogs, and of course everyone was going, you can't leave them in the car, bring them in, we'll take care of them and smother them and stuff. And of course they all got out of the box, and Dad was in his office on some really important business call when he felt something chewing at his shoe. He thought it was a rat at first. And they say in London, you're never more than 6 feet from a rat, which is like that much-ish. Like from a rat, not the actual size of the rat. Anyway, Brian, he did as he was told from the word go, and he just stopped chewing Dad's shoe with only a look and sat when Dad pointed at him. You know, the look he does. And that was it, I guess. A puppy that doesn't need training is just some kind of canine miracle. And Dad's always been a sucker for animals. Mum wasn't very happy with him either because he hadn't spoken to her before bringing him home, or about calling him Brian, which she still thinks is the dumbest name ever for a dog. Because it is, which is why Dad chose it. But strong but wrong. But here's the thing. And I know you know it. Brian's not even at the end of his life right now. He's way beyond it. He's 16. And you know there's this idea of dog years, like a year of a dog's life is 5 for a human, so that makes Brian 80 years old. And the average age for a dog is 12. Some live to 13, but usually with cataracts and a load of health issues. So the fact Brian is still able to walk properly and can be bothered to bark at the postman is amazing. But you know he's not eating properly now, and the vet's just concerned he's going to starve himself to death. If there was anything anyone could do, we'd make them do it. And there's that vet that does pioneering stuff on animals, replacing hips and doing implants. Some people think it's wrong, but it's not cruel to try to make an animal comfortable or lead a better life. I guess what he's actually doing is just testing new techniques which could be used on humans at some point. It's kind of benign animal testing. And they only do the operations when there's no other choice. But keeping an animal alive beyond its years when there just isn't anything to be done, just because you don't want to say goodbye. And it'd be cruel to force feed him, even if you could. You know how he managed to find the worming tablet when we hid it in his food, and if we crumbled it up, he'd only just sick it back up again in his dinner. So, you know it's time to let Brian go. Just think about all the fun he's had with us. Like, remember when we went to Anglesey and he'd just spend all day barking at us because he didn't want us to be in the sea and he'd run in and out with the waves? Or when he rolled in his own crap and Mum made us hose him down? And remember all the food you couldn't finish? You fed him under the table so he thought you were some kind of god of all food. And when he bit Ben because he was hanging you upside down by your legs. Yeah. He's had a good life. But Ben, he doesn't want to get involved because he doesn't want anyone to see him cry. And Dad won't bring it up because he's just an emotional coward. So it's up to you to say you're okay with it. Sit Dad down and just say, shouldn't we let Brian go? And he'll say, of course, if that's what you think we should do, and then you have to try not to cry too much because as soon as he says that, you will get really upset, even if you think you won't. But I don't think you should wait until I'm home again because I'm working weekends right now and I don't even know if I'm going to be back till April. So just call me if you need to talk.